Hi everyone. Today, me and my friends will be talking about the topic of the criminalization of suicide in Malaysia. So I'm Samuel. I'm 21 years old, and I'm from Kuching, Sarawak.
And I'm Malik, I'm 22, and I'm from Sabah.
And I'm Darshan, I'm 25 years old from Kuantan, Pahang.
I'm Amanda, I'm 24 years old and I'm from Taiping.
I'm Fayed and I'm 25 years old and I'm from KL.
Alright, so maybe we should, let our viewers know like what the law is exactly.
Yeah.
So in Malaysia, suicide is attempted suicide is a crime under section 309 of the Penal Code. It carries a sentence of a year or maybe even a fine. So getting imprisoned for attempting suicide is actually a rarity. People don't usually go to prison for attempting suicide. It's usually a fine or something. But yeah, although the law does state that it is a crime, it's still up to the prosecutor, the police officer handling your case. So if he decides not to charge you under the law, he can let you off. So yeah, but even though usually police, they usually won't prosecute, they won't bring the case further, they usually let them go.
Yeah.
But why does it still exist? It's still a problem, right? The fact that the law
It's
exists.
still a very big problem.
So so why is it still a crime? I'll let you guys speak later. But what I think is because Islam is the official religion of Malaysia, so it's a significant thing here.
Yeah.
And in Islam, the basic belief lies in the protection of humanity. That's what I read up on.
Mhm.
And one of the fundamental goals of Islam is to preserve human life.
Yeah.
So yeah, they really discourage it. It's a sin, right, Amanda?
Yeah.
Yeah. It is
I
a
mean,
sin.
even
So-
in Christianity, that's a sin,
Oh
right?
yeah.
Yeah.
So
Historically, this law is based on religious beliefs. This is because, like you said, most religion believe that only God have the right to decide when someone dies. And back to what you were saying, yes, it's true. In Islam, suicide is prohibited and also haram because it is a
Haram.
major sin. In the hadith of Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, in the Quran, it says that do not kill yourself because Allah is the most merciful.
Mhm.
And if you're in distress, you have to have faith that He'll get you through it.
And from my part right now, what I know is not only Muslim, not only Christian, but all the religion prohibited
Yeah.
about suicide lah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also, because of this, it's a very serious issue to handle and face lah if suicide. So I think what the government in Malaysia did to criminalize suicide is for me is a bad idea lah. They should seek for changes.
Definitely.
And to be honest, we didn't actually make this law because this law was based on British laws
Yeah,
when we were
during
colonized.
colonization.
And also the Penal Code was based on the Indian Criminal Code when India was colonized by the British. So they thought that it worked well there, so they adopted it here because they thought that it will work well here.
So when they colonized, they don't want to lose workers, right?
Mhm.
Oh yeah, because
Yeah.
life was hard back then.
Yeah.
Yeah, they need
Yeah. So if
labor.
they start committing suicide, they will lose work. It's not out of the pureness of their heart. Right?
Yeah,
To
true.
be honest, it's like you are controlling a human being lah.
Basically.
Yeah, basically. Yep. So basically, this whole religious thing, every religion prohibits suicide. I think I wouldn't say for Indian culture we prohibit,
Mhm.
but if you take a life, your soul won't be pure.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you haven't lived your life to the fullest. And
Yes.
if you take it too early, it's like you're losing your, the threads of fate or something like that.
your
Mhm.
purpose
Yeah, you're
of being
basically
there,
And
Your meaning of life.
I'm pretty sure other religions believe in reincarnation, right?
I
Not
think
as
No.
well.
Buddhism, some of them.
Some
Yeah.
of it.
And I think even Buddhism, the reason you're reincarnated is because you have things that you have not done in life.
Yeah, not completed.
So yeah.
So back to the question, which is,
Do you guys?
why do you think why do you think suicide is criminalized in Malaysia specifically? I think, like you say, it's because of religion and because Malaysia we use Sharia law.
Mm.
Yeah.
Even simple things like oral sex or like anal sex. It's haram, so you could get to jail if you do it, but like who would know, right?
Mhm.
But yeah,
It's only
sad
between
truth.
you and God, right?
yeah,
Do
exactly.
you guys think it's only religion, or do you think the people, you know, the government, they really believe that if you criminalize it, it actually helps? Do you think people believe that?
I don't think anyone believes
I don't
that
think
because there's a proof that it's not working. You know, they thought by criminalizing it, they could prevent people from suicide, but that's
Yeah, I
just
mean,
not
Is
true.
it like to cope with the death rates and all that? Is it because of that too? I mean, the government have to think technically as well,
Yeah.
right?
Well, they gotta know it's not working.
It's
The
not
government
working.
Yeah.
is full
Plus,
of cover-ups.
yeah.
Yeah.
Plus, Malaysia's quality of life right now is quite questionable.
Yeah,
Mhm.
especially after the pandemic.
Agreed,
Yeah.
agreed.
Yeah, maybe now we should talk about the demographics of the people who have attempted suicide or have committed it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm reading off a script of like this. I'll give you guys the statistics, okay? So of the 312 attempted suicides reported in 2021, 67.9% or 212 were male, and 32.1% of them were female. So yeah, most of the cases in 2021 involve adults aged 19 to 40. And yeah, so that's basically mostly what we want to tell you guys is that it's usually male, the demographics that for the people who would try suicide, attempt suicide, it's usually male and people below the age of 40. So yeah, why do you guys think that is? You know?
Work stress.
Yeah.
Yeah, but why is it male specifically, you know?
I have an
I
answer
think-
to this.
Sure.
Yeah, okay, you go
I
first.
feel like it's because men don't talk about their feelings as much as women do.
That's
Actually,
true.
that's true.
That's true.
I
Absolutely.
totally agree.
They, men and their ego, they think they're so powerful and masculine.
I mean,
so
I
they
can't
don't.
really say ego. I mean, sorry,
I
but
mean,
like,
there are some.
because some
Yeah.
men they just don't know how to talk or how to express.
But
Like, okay,
isn't-
like for example, like okay, we girls, right? When you guys are with each other, you're used to talking about letting your feelings out and all.
Yeah.
We don't usually do that with boys.
We
Like
keep
we
ourselves.
Even if
Exactly,
we talk
but
about,
isn't-
we don't really like, you know what? I mean, we don't really go in detail.
I
Yeah.
think that's the ego of men of being, you know, fragile in front of another man. That's just weird.
In all
For
honesty,
you
right,
guys,
it's like we men grew up thinking that we need to be the man of the house, we need
Yeah,
to be strong
exactly.
and all that.
You can't
and-
cry. You can't show your emotions.
And the thing we need to mention is that the patriarchal system does not just affect women. I mean, it affects women a lot,
Yeah.
but it also affects men.
Exactly. I
Because
agree.
the whole concept of being strong-minded,
Yeah.
you know, and all that's
So-
what affects. So when men like below 30, right, like you said,
Below 40.
below 40.
Teenagers even.
Yeah, below 40, you know, so that's the age where they start working,
Mhm.
go work, and that's the time where they experience a lot in life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
On their
because
own.
of how they grew up, they say they can't express their feelings and
Mhm.
all that stuff.
So they think like suicide is the only
Yeah,
way.
they have no
the
one to
only
talk
thing
to.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's something that is really affecting like men, and also let's not forget women also committed suicide.
Yeah,
So
definitely.
we need to talk about why they do it as well,
Mhm.
you know. So anyone has
Maybe you could move on to like the reasons
Yeah.
for suicide.
Why
Yeah.
is it
Yeah.
like common these days,
In Malaysia.
especially in Malaysia? Yeah.
Does anyone have any?
Okay, so I think the reason why most of the people committed suicide is especially after and during the pandemic, where most of the people have to stay at home and some of their family members have passed away due to COVID, and also they are feel lonely, and then they have to face all their life problem, sometimes alone or
Yeah.
sometimes family member has passed away, so the family just got smaller, and eventually sometimes left alone.
Yeah.
let's not
And-
forget that if someone passes away during the pandemic, you can't go.
Yeah.
To,
You can't visit
Ah,
them. You
yes.
can't.
yeah.
That's so
Imagine
sad.
imagine not being able to see your
That-
loved
Right.
one
That
for
is
last.
very
Yeah.
heartbreaking.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is.
I would die.
So that's why people see suicide is the only option to take
Yeah.
to
Putting an
basic-
end to
yeah.
it.
Yeah.
What
So I
else?
think that's from me. Yeah.
Pandemic.
Malaysia's quality of life, like I mentioned before. I mean, Malaysia right now, during the pandemic, it was still okay, right? But then, when they ordered shops to close, only the
Yeah, the
essentials.
Mm.
Yeah, and then a lot of business people went out of business, and then just imagine them, they've been working for like, let's say one hawker worked for 20 years, and out of nowhere he has to shut down.
Yeah.
Where's his income coming from then?
Yeah.
How would he feel?
And a
Yeah.
lot of businesses close down as well because they can't sustain.
Yeah, even after the pandemic.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, they can't recuperate the costs as they did like years before, the pandemic. So that's also the reason. And also, can we talk about the government for a second here?
Oh,
Sure. It's related. Everything's related.
Yes, and the government, to be honest, we understand why they locked down, obviously, because we don't want to spread the infection. But they kind of half-baked the decision. Like for 1 year, we were fine. The cases were going down.
Mm-hmm.
And then the next year, they opened, slowly opened, and the cases started to go up. And then they put lockdown again. And then they come up with this different MCOs,
Yeah.
They
All
never
the
commit to a
CEOs.
cause, right? They
Yeah.
keep
Yeah.
like using a band-aid to
Yeah.
fix the problem when it appears.
Yeah,
exactly.
and the cases went out of control.
It was crazy.
It was crazy. It was such a failed attempt. And also talk about the fact that we changed governments like twice. So
And let's not forget about pandemic. There's also a new law for pandemic. Like you can get fined if you
just
For not wearing a mask.
not wearing
Just
mask,
imagine, right, you
my
made-
sejahtera things.
yeah.
Oh
Just
my
imagine
God.
you made a mistake one day. You had a bad day. You forgot your mask. You go out.
Oh yeah.
Thousands.
and you
Slap
get
your-
1,000
and
fine.
on top of the other life problems that you have, that comes in and you have no money. Just imagine that
Yeah.
stress that can. It can lead to suicide. We can't
Exactly.
deny
Who wouldn't
that.
kill themselves?
Yeah, I rather die than pay this because I can't.
Me too.
I can't pay it.
Yeah.
You know. So yeah, a lot of people face that during the pandemic.
What I'm thinking is, a lot of those reasons, right? They're already there, like the reasons for suicide, and then like, maybe the pandemic made it worse.
Yeah.
Maybe
Yeah.
like
It adds up.
inflation, like high living
Yeah,
costs.
we can't forget the fact that suicide has been in Malaysia for a long time. Actually, it's
Yeah.
all over the world, but let's talk about we
In
focusing on
Malaysia.
Malaysia, right?
Mm.
Yeah.
And yeah, the pandemic just made it worse. It's like, it's kind of sad,
And
really.
also the fact that mental health is kind of a taboo topic
Yes.
in Malaysia.
It definitely is.
Yes,
So that just makes it worse.
Mm.
it makes it a lot worse. It's like you try to talk to someone, like especially your parents, and they don't understand.
Mhm.
It's like, during back in my days, I faced all this and I'm
Yes.
fine. It shouldn't. We shouldn't compare
Yeah.
because the way of life now is very different.
Exactly.
We have more, like, I wouldn't say more labor work. Like we have more to deal with.
Mm-hmm.
Technology is like growing, and then we need to learn those technology.
Yeah.
Imagine the people that are like computer engineers or civil engineers. They need to find new ways to do things because technology is like growing.
Improving.
Yeah, and then learning is not an easy thing.
Yeah. No.
Everyone can do it, but then if you have to learn a lot of things in a short span of time just to get with the times, it's not the same. Back then you can deal with it. Now you can't.
Yeah. That's
So
true.
yeah.
Yeah, and I also believe that I also, like one of the reason is also common to college students. So, for example, like increase in academic demands, that can also cause stress,
Yeah.
and it can lead to like them feeling depressed, and it can also lead to suicide.
Yeah, Malaysian families are very dependent on academic
Yes.
stuff, like
Asians,
reputation.
man.
Yeah.
Sad truth.
Besides that, like for example, like for students that are studying abroad or international students, right? Due to being away from family and friends, it can cause loneliness
Yeah.
Yep.
and depression due to lack of support.
Yeah. Actually, that's
Yeah.
true. A lot of my friends that studied overseas like fell into depression just
Yeah.
because they're alone and so
Yeah.
far away from home.
Yep.
Yeah. And also not to forget that being away and independent also give them an opportunity to try substance such as alcohol or drugs,
Yep. Alcoholism.
which can have an
drugs.
impact on your mental health,
Yep.
Mhm.
It can.
and that will increase the risk of suicide.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, to be honest, when you're an alcoholic, you drink a lot of alcohol, you're basically like destroying your liver. That can also lead to death. So it's kind of like a suicide as well.
Slow death.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah,
slow
slow
death.
death.
Or
Yeah.
even
Right,
if you
so
don't drink, but let's say you move to another country, right? Totally different. Like
Culture.
basically in a different culture as well. So that is one of the reasons that can
Yeah.
Also,
lead for them to try all these things.
also, you guys talk about alcohol. Now, I want to talk about substances like drugs.
Yeah.
Well, drugs. There are many types of drugs, and people usually take hardcore drugs like heroin, cocaine, MDMA, those things. They can talk, take these things and try to. Sometimes they are not trying to suicide, but they overdose, and which can lead to.
Unintentionally.
Yeah,
Yeah,
some people just
unintentional
want to
suicide.
cope with the
Yeah.
thing,
Uh,
Yeah.
but they don't
Yeah.
understand that it can kill you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But some people take it the other way, like this is the easier way out lah.
Yeah, like
So-
for them to escape.
Yeah.
So it's an issue also lah.
And also we have to talk about the fact that if we, let's say we try to talk about our feelings, this thing happened, that thing happened, no matter how small the problem is, you don't have to like compare
Exactly.
problems. Oh, this is bigger,
Yeah.
that is bigger.
Like it's not a competition.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
make it a competition, and
Yeah.
that's the society in Malaysia.
Exactly.
You say your
Yeah.
problems, and then another person just comes in. Oh, yeah,
Oh, my problem's
bigger
bigger.
problem.
yeah, my problem is bigger.
Yours
It's like
is nothing.
it doesn't matter because different types of issues affect people differently.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like you mustn't like I said, you can't compare. It's
Yeah.
it's a very bad thing. Yeah,
And to
you
me-
can't invalidate problems.
Yeah.
You know?
And also, like I believe that if it hurts you, it hurts you. You know. And different people, they go through different things.
Yes.
It doesn't matter if it's small or big. But to me, it's like, it's just that different people they have another way of like dealing with
Coping.
things. Yeah,
Coping,
coping
yeah.
or dealing with things. You know.
Another thing I think is Malaysians, I don't know, especially Malay Muslim, they like it's not common for you to speak out about your emotions, or you know, if you're depressed and if you tell your parents, they would just be like, oh, you know, find God, go pray.
Absolutely.
I don't think it's just Malay Muslims, right? Indians,
Christians.
Chinese people
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
Indians, I think there is like some families. Oh, you just have to pray. You know,
Or they wouldn't tell, so like for Chinese, I don't think they would tell you to pray. They would just tell you to, look at the final goal. You have to achieve that.
Yeah.
I don't care what you're going through right now.
Yeah.
You have to get there.
Yeah,
Ah,
instead
yeah.
of helping
So
you
it's
get
like-
there,
Yeah.
you just have to get there yourself.
Mashallah, the same, but like the same concept, right? So just imagine you're really sad, you're trying to find help, and then someone say, oh, find God, oh, go read Quran.
And that's already hard enough for them, let's say for the victim, to open up.
Exactly.
So once they open up, and when someone says something like that, it will definitely hurt them.
Yeah.
And
You
they won't
know,
open up in the
like,
future,
okay,
right? 'Cause
For
they're shut
example,
down.
like I've heard a story from a friend. Like, he was saying that he was telling someone that he is depressed because he couldn't like really take it at that point. He just had to let it out, and that person actually said like, why you shouldn't be depressed. You're still young. And to me, I feel that depression
Has
doesn't
no age.
define age.
Age.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it has
You
no
know,
age.
everyone, like I said, if it hurts you, it hurts you.
Yeah.
Yep, it does.
It doesn't matter if you're a 7-year-old kid or if you're a 50-year-old guy. You can still get depressed anytime. It can happen anytime
I've
based on
seen
trauma. or
60-year-olds
anything.
have depression.
Yes.
I've seen
Right.
a 9-year-old kid like kill himself. So because he was depressed, got abused by the parents. But still, age doesn't matter. If you're depressed, you're depressed.
If you're depressed, you're depressed.
Mental health is very important.
Yes. No
And
matter
also we
what
have to talk
age.
about the name calling. Oh, you're just crazy.
Exactly.
Oh yeah, there's definitely a stigma towards those
Yeah.
Yeah.
with mental illness, right?
Yeah.
It's
You're
like maybe they don't
crazy.
understand the person,
Mhm.
and then if he or she starts acting weird, people give them names and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's basically bullying at that point already.
Mhm.
Like just because you're happy-go-lucky and that person's sad, you don't have to like make fun of that person. If you're a really good person, you would help them.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know,
And
you
we
would
should,
listen.
like you said, we should try to understand people more instead of like, you know, everyone. It's so easy to point fingers to judge someone, but then most people, they don't really know how to like, they don't really care or like try to do something about it or try to help.
And also we have to talk about the fact that some people who help don't really
Help.
help.
They end up
Yeah.
saying something wrong. end up judging, you know. Like
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
So
like
that's
the,
why you gotta be careful when it comes to like talking to like someone who has mental illness. You gotta be
Sometimes-
careful with your words.
sometimes
Exactly.
They
listening.
get very fragile.
Sometimes listening is enough.
Yeah,
Yes,
just
for some
listen.
people.
Yeah.
Spend
just
time with
listen.
them, sit
Yeah.
down.
If you have
And
nothing
if
good
you
to
have-
say,
And
then just
understand,
keep quiet.
Yeah,
Yeah.
if you actually have a solution,
Yes.
say it.
Exactly.
But make sure the solution actually helps.
Yeah.
No, don't say words like move on. Just move on. It's
Oh,
not easy.
no.
It's not,
It's
like
not
that
easy. It's not
you know.
easy at all. You know.
There's more to it.
And I don't think discrimination only comes from like people around them, even employers.
Yes.
Yes.
Because in Malaysia, if you seek help, like from a therapist or something, it usually goes onto your mental on your health
I
records.
heard
And
about
then
that.
employers might discriminate you if they
Yes.
see that you have these records. So
Exactly.
people might be really reluctant to seek help
Yeah.
from professionals.
Yes.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
true.
Yeah, it goes on your list, and it's like
yeah, it's in like
it's
your
there forever.
documents, right? So if you were to apply jobs anywhere, they would know. Oh, you have history of having mental
and
illness.
he's
Yeah.
unstable. Maybe you don't want to hire him. Something like that.
Yeah.
Let's talk about mental illness. What I think is, in Malaysia, people that has mental illness, usually, majority of them is from a B40 family, which is also a lower income family lah.
yeah.
And this type of people, from what I did the research, is they have less money, lack of education about suicide, and if the patient has mental illness and they are from the B40 family, they cannot afford the treatment.
Yes.
And
The
which
treatments
is
can be expensive
very,
as well, plus
very-
the medications.
The
alone.
medications they
Like
can
if you
cost
go
like
to the
500
government,
plus.
Yeah.
there's a long line.
Yeah, there's a
Yeah.
long line.
It's a problem lah.
Yeah,
Yes.
I mean, yeah, we
We
also
should
have
do
to talk
some-
about
we gotta
how.
do something about it.
I mean, it all leads back to the Malaysian's quality of life, lah. You
Mhm.
know,
The government.
what the poor people are gonna do.
I have a spicy fact here for you guys. You
Yeah.
know, in
Right.
Malaysia, right?
Let's hear it.
Yeah.
A study in 2015, they found that the people most likely to discriminate those with mental illness are actually your close friends and family. That's what they found out.
That's actually true.
That's actually kind of true.
Those that are supposed to support you, help you out during troubling times, yeah, those are the ones who reject you. That's what the
Yeah.
study found.
Yeah,
That's why they
because-
said like, I saw this quote on the internet. It says that family can also be toxic, not
Yeah,
just,
yeah,
not
yeah.
just
Exactly.
the
Yeah,
people that
because
you don't know.
your family think
Yeah.
they know you.
Yes,
that's
exactly,
why they-
exactly.
Don't they don't listen to what you have to say.
Yeah. And even like friends too, like you can tell fake friends around you. For
Yeah.
example, in my experience, I have ADHD, so I'm taking medication right now. And I remember when I first like saw the psychiatrist, and I told her, I just saw a psychiatrist. I got prescribed meds, and then this girl, particularly in my group of friends, she spread news that like, oh, I'm a drug addict. That's why I went to see psychiatrist just to get the drugs.
So she's basically an ex-friend now.
Yeah, yeah. So it was hard, to hear that from a friend,
Yeah.
and you yourself have taken a step to, be better, to help yourself.
Yeah.
But then as you do that,
And you confided in her.
Yeah,
about
and
it.
even if
Yeah.
you're a drug addict, you're going to a psychiatrist. At least you're trying to get better.
exactly,
Yeah.
Right?
exactly,
It's getting worse.
There's nothing wrong with that.
exactly.
Yeah.
Did
and
this change anything in you, Amanda? Did you start being more reluctant to share your problems and stuff?
Actually, it
You
did.
did, right?
It
It
did,
did. I'm not friends with that group of people anymore. I started making new friends, and I don't tell people about what I go through.
Mm-hmm.
So I just like keep it to myself and
So
like.
there's like a
just-
domino effect, It's like
But then
yeah.
you also you learn your lesson to like make sure they actually.
your real
True.
friend.
And you
Yeah,
can
they're
never
real
know for
friends.
sure, because
You
once
never
you say like,
know.
I'm seeing a therapist, they would say like, are you crazy or something,
Exactly,
right?
and
They
because
overreact.
like she never see me like going through it because I don't show. Why would you go around like being sad and like showing
Yeah,
people
yeah,
that
yeah.
you got a problem? I don't show, but I tell you, I'm seeking help. But because they don't know what you're going through actually, so they just judge.
And also, at least by that, you know who your real friends are.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
Right?
That's true,
Because
that's-
if they're real with you,
they wouldn't do that.
Yeah.
At the very least, they should just listen, right?
Yes.
Mhm.
Maybe not judge,
And
just
we
sit
yeah,
down and
and
listen.
can't be judgmental as well.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And we can't also like you said just now categorize people like, okay, they have this mental illness, so that like you basically like put down, okay, they're this kind of people or not,
Yeah, they're crazy.
We're
and
all the
that
same.
stuff,
We're all
yeah.
the same.
you know.
Yeah.
That's true.
Alright, so now that we've talked about the reasons for suicide in Malaysia, maybe you could talk about if the criminalization of suicide really helps, it helps prevent suicide. And the World Health Organization, WHO, they actually have a stance that it does not help at all. And it actually stalls people, it prevents people from seeking treatment,
Yeah.
which in turn increases the risk of suicide.
Yeah.
Because usually when you attempt suicide, right, what's the next step? You try to seek therapy, seek help.
Mhm.
Yep.
And instead of that, you'll be dealing with the courts.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's
Yeah.
More stress.
That's more stress.
More reason to kill yourself.
Yeah.
and like criminalization, it seems to focus on assigning blame rather than identifying the reason
Mhm.
behind it.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And also based on the video that I saw from YouTube, it's by the News Flash. So the senior vice chairman of Malaysian crime prevention said that criminalizing suicide on people who has mental illness is inhuman and unacceptable. And I totally agree with that, because what they need is help.
Help.
Such as rehabilitation,
Yes.
Mhm.
not to be punished. That's not
Yeah.
that's not gonna end that's not gonna end this issue.
Yeah.
That's not the solution.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With the criminalization of suicide, don't you guys think that a lot of resources are spent by both the government and the person on, in courts you have money, you need money to be in court and
Yeah.
all that stuff. Instead, all those resources and all of those could be focused on
Helping.
helping on seeking on therapy and all that, rather than
Yeah,
like,
that's
it's really
true.
pointless. It's always
Exactly.
focused on like blaming. It's not
Yeah.
on the recovery.
Or like, yeah.
Yeah.
True.
Okay.
There's no way to solution if this keep continues.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we have
And
changes lah.
we should
Mm.
should definitely change that.
Mm.
I wouldn't be surprised if someone tried, he failed, he's now in courts, and that's like extra motivation to just end
Yeah.
his life, because like, what am I even
Exactly.
doing now? I'm
Yeah,
a
he's
criminal.
already in prison.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gotta
Imagine
pay for the court.
Yeah.
he was already about to end his life, and then it got worse.
Yeah, he's
And
slapped
it's
him,
like it's like the government comes in. You know what? I'll help you.
Yeah.
Just, I'll send you to prison. That's the thing.
maybe think
You-
twice next time. It's like kind of like a warning. Yeah.
Yeah, but the thing is, it just adds more like pressure.
Yeah,
No,
pressure.
I believe okay. The government might think that by criminalizing it will be not scare them, but basically stop them from doing it. But I don't think that's effective.
Yeah,
and
instead
that's,
of
I don't think that's working.
Yeah,
Yeah.
instead of criminalizing
Yeah.
it, you can spend your money on like maybe campaigns or like actual treatment centers for
Yeah.
the mentally
Like
ill.
Sam said, like for therapy.
Yeah.
Because like when you try to attempt suicide, it's like how do I say this? You don't basically plan it, or you don't just think about it. Like, okay, you know what? Today I'm gonna commit suicide. It just happened. Like sometimes it caught you off guard.
Yeah. I mean,
So-
even
But
if
you've
the
had enough.
yeah, even if the person like plans suicide, that means they really think that that's the day they want to
Yeah.
go, because maybe there's a few things they want to do, maybe like buy their mom something,
Mm.
buy their friend something, before saying their goodbyes, so even if it's a planned suicide, it's still sad.
Yeah, it's sad, and like the family have to go through
Yeah.
all of that as well. It's very upsetting.
Well, as much as you want to give the government stick, well, at least there's a move in the right direction.
Yeah.
Because recently Malaysia has announced that they will be decriminalizing attempted suicide and suicide, but it's still pending.
It's still pending.
And they do not have a specific timeline for this. They just say they're gonna do it, and they're researching on
Yeah.
how best to do it. So yeah, that's
They announced this last year, October,
They
Yeah,
did,
right?
and there's-
and
now
mind
we're
you,
in July
mind
2022.
Mind you, they announced it during the time where the rakyat was mad at them.
Yeah.
it could be like
It's
maybe
just like to,
Yeah.
like bait.
Yeah, it's like a bait, And the thing is, nobody is questioning it. Nobody remembers the fact that they announced that they were going
nobody
Yeah.
pressures them to
Yeah.
keep on.
Yeah.
I just found out about it too.
Yeah.
But actually, there's somebody, but it's a non-profit organization that make a
Pushing for
voice
Ah,
about
Yeah.
this problem lah.
Mhm.
So what I know is two organization like Befrienders
Yes.
oh yeah.
and also
Uh-huh.
Awas Malaysia, which is awareness suicide organization in Malaysia.
And to add on,
Yeah.
it's also there's also one. It's called Green Ribbon
Ah,
Group
Oh, yeah.
by Yang Amat Mulia Tunku Puteri Man.
Mhm.
So it's basically a platform for mental health awareness, and they actually collaborate with a few hotlines such as Befrienders, which is a suicide hotline, or someone a hotline for someone who's going through something. You can actually call them.
Since you were mentioning Befrienders, I've actually heard stories from them.
Mhm.
Sometimes if you call them, right, the answers can be very robotic,
Yeah.
and they don't really. It doesn't lead to anywhere, you know. It actually, I've heard like it worsens the situation.
Oh really?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Befrienders,
it's
yeah.
like automated.
Yeah, like the person is reading a script. He or she
Oh.
doesn't really, you know, he's not helping.
I guess like they should like improve on that.
They should.
I
Yeah.
think it's because, like I said earlier, mental health is a
Or maybe you don't want to say the wrong thing. That's what I'm thinking now. But
Yeah,
you can go on.
maybe they don't. But to me, I feel like if you wanna be in this line, right, especially mental awareness. So basically, of course, like I said, you gotta be careful with your words. But if it's scripted as well, it's like you're not answering or like actually helping. You're like you leave them basically in like a blank spot.
That's
So-
why we need to bring in like professionals that
Yeah.
know what
Yeah.
to say, how to help. You know.
It doesn't
But
have to
that's-
be professional. It's
Yeah.
basically like just being a human being.
Yeah, yeah.
And like
Someone who
being
knows.
kind and just try to understand them more and try to listen more, and then from there like you basically like reply not to just say something, but you reply based on what you think is good for them.
Yeah.
No, but that's the thing. Malaysia, we have shortage of psychologists and psychiatrists. In the whole Malaysia, we only have like 300 plus psychiatrists. That's
I mean,
crazy.
yeah. Even if there are psychiatrists, nobody's going to them because everyone's like judging them. You know.
And also, it's expensive. It's
Yeah.
And also
really
expensive.
Not only the lack of psychiatrists, I've read that there was in the urban areas, maybe like in Wilayah Persekutuan, Kuala
Yeah.
Lumpur, Klang Valley, they don't
Yeah.
reach out to like, you know, the rural areas.
Yeah. Only,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
that's true. Only
Yeah.
in urban areas. So, like, people in the rural areas aren't aware that they can seek help.
Yeah, I mean, I think people in the rural areas will also like, they grew up learning that you know you have to keep things in. You know, for them that's the life.
Yeah, just to
Yeah.
survive.
Yeah.
And I think my suggestion is not suggestion like it's like from a study. I think the rural area where most of the lower income people stay, and then also they are not very good facility, but also in the rural area. And I think the people that are higher, that is the T20 group, that has the most access to the healthcare,
Yeah.
and then all those essential and some benefits lah, they can access more compared to the lower income people.
Yeah.
And I see this is a problem, and it's not even, how do I say this word, it's not equality, there is no equality
Yeah.
in here.
Yeah.
And also the government, right, they actually have created and plan to execute a national mental health strategic plan. It's going on from 2020 all the way to 2025. And it was
Mhm.
officially launched in October 10th, 2021.
Okay.
And yeah, have you guys heard of
No.
this?
Oh,
No.
yeah, it's the same that they made during the announcement that they're gonna
Oh
decriminalize.
yeah,
Yeah,
it was at
right?
the same time, yeah, pretty
But
much.
it
For the-
isn't.
Like the only organization I have heard of is Befrienders. It's usually the
Yeah,
NGOs
that's- yeah,
which
that's the-
really
that's the-
put out the message, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They do have actually quite a lot of programs. It includes program Minda Sehat Sekolah, screening and healthy mind intervention in primary healthcare. You know, a lot actually the government has
Yeah.
many programs for this, but I don't think they are like
They're not
widely
pushing it.
accessible, or like the message isn't
Yeah, they're
known.
not. They're not
Yeah.
pushing it to the people that need help. You know. So
They're just like doing it for the sake of doing it.
yeah. I mean, they're in our eyes. I mean, they keep trying to prove us wrong, but we
Yeah.
can see through their lies.
Exactly.
Yeah. So yeah.
And okay, what do you guys think, like, how we can lobby for the decriminalization of suicide and to add more focus on mental health?
I mean, they already announced that they supposedly could
Yeah,
implement
but maybe
it.
if more people of power question it, then it
Yeah.
might speed things up. That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, we need
But
more.
what can we as citizens do?
Okay, so for me, the first thing is just, like I said, like a simple one, like being a human being, and we gotta know how to help them as well. So, which is why we should also like take this issue seriously and educate ourselves on this issue. So, like, as a citizen and a human being, we should also know that suicide is also everyone's business, not just the victim.
Yes. Yeah.
We should be aware of the signs and take actions upon it. So, for example, like a simple act, like, okay, if you see someone or if you know someone, like your relative who's abroad, let's say they post something sad or like, you know, something
Ask
changed,
if they're
yeah,
okay.
something changed, or if someone in front of you, even if you don't know them, suddenly start crying, what you can do, like simple act, just by like talking to them, asking if they were okay, I think that would like mean a lot to them. And by doing that, you can actually save a life. You never know.
Yeah, and also
Yeah.
we should also use social media to our advantage.
Yes.
You know, in Facebook, you can create groups.
Yeah.
You can actually create. I think I've seen groups where people with depression can go into and share their problems. Then there are admins that will try to like help them and all that. We need more of those.
Yes.
You know, we need more of those, and we need to like send it out. You can talk to someone.
Yeah.
You know.
And we should spread awareness as well by like having more campaign and posting on social media regarding this issue and how they can seek help and how we can help as well.
Yeah.
Well, I think, right, another important point as individuals, when we have to know when it's out of our control and maybe direct our friend or family member to a professional.
Yeah, professional.
Yeah, we shouldn't give radical advice liberally, you know, like just saying stuff. Yeah, we should.
Yeah, like if someone starts like self-harming or they start to
Yeah.
drink, taking drugs, that's actually out of our control. We
Yeah.
can try to talk to the person.
That's actually like one of the big signs, you know.
Yeah, they can it's not entirely out of our control, but then if they don't listen, then it's out of your control.
Yeah.
So you have to send them to a professional.
But you cannot also give up just like that.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
it's
I mean,
it's not that easy. I mean, like you can say like, okay, you know what, go find help. It's easier said than done.
I mean,
for them, the battle that they're going through, like it could be much bigger than you think.
I mean, if you really want to help the person, you would actually send them. You know,
Yes.
you would take them to the place,
Yeah.
not just tell them, go see a professional.
You know
Yeah,
what?
it doesn't work.
In my opinion, I think the best thing you could do for a friend or like for a family is just to be there with them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because sometimes people who's going through this thing, sometimes they don't want to seek help because they feel like they're scared or like it's nothing, it's just in their head.
Mm.
Yeah.
But throughout, like when they go through those things, those feelings, just be with them.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
that's all that you can do.
But-
Even though you try to send them, if they don't want to go, it's fine. Don't pressure them because that's just gonna
Yeah.
make things worse.
Yeah.
Just be there with them.
Yeah, but the problem is that's hard to change, you know, in today's
It is.
society. It's
No,
still
and
going
sometimes
on.
like
yeah.
people with mental illness, they don't even know they have it until they
Something
And
happens.
someone tell.
go to until
Yeah.
they go to the therapist and basically they what's that word
What were you thinking of?
no, I'm thinking of wait, sorry, just blanked
No,
out.
we're not cutting. We're
Uh,
not cutting. We're going on.
I think we should cut this one.
No, it's no, it's fine. You know what? I think we've elaborated a lot on like how
Yeah.
we as
Yeah.
individuals should help.
Yeah.
What can the government do? I think they can do a lot.
A lot.
No, okay, the word has
Yeah, the
come.
word.
Okay.
Diagnose.
Diagnose.
Right.
Yes.
So basically,
Okay.
they will only know once they're
They're
diagnosed
diagnosed.
by
Ah, yes,
by
yes,
the
Yeah.
doctor.
Okay,
Yeah.
so I mean, yeah, when you go to therapist and you realize you have this, right?
Yeah.
Because when you see your signs doing something that you don't usually do, you know, like let's say suddenly you wake up in the morning, suddenly you feel like you're down,
Yeah.
you know,
Or like lack of sleep. You go to sleep really late. Wake
Yeah.
up really late.
and
Oversleeping.
even if you sleep, you wake up out of nowhere and feeling like very heavy inside. Those are the signs that something's happening. You know, even though you brush it aside, it's still there.
And also, like, just to add, like, for the victims, like, don't be afraid or feel like you're different when you're diagnosed, or when you seek help, you're diagnosed with mental disorders, because you're not alone. You're not the only one who's going through this. Like, everyone's here with you.
Yeah.
There's more people there, like, who's gonna be there for you. You just gotta know, like, you gotta have faith that, you know, you're doing the right thing by seeking help.
Yep.
And to, like, family, friends, or like to the people, like, we have to stop being judgmental and
Yeah.
stop labeling this, like, people with mental illness
Or crazy.
as crazy, or, like, you know, by like abandoning them, or like, because it's gonna make them feel left out as well.
Yeah.
And they will feel like, you know what, I have this, so I don't think I can get along with these people.
Yeah.
So that's not okay. And
Yeah,
that's
the
not,
thing
that's
is,
not
I've
right.
actually met people that cut off people who are depressed
Yeah.
just because they don't want to get affected.
Yeah.
That is very selfish. Like, you're
really-
potentially, like, even though you're not involved, you're potentially killing that person.
Yeah, you're putting someone's life at risk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How could you?
Yeah. I mean, there are people like that. You know, that's the thing.
Yeah.
You know, humans. You know, we just need to, like,
Yeah.
do better.
And also, like, if you're not gonna help, then don't do anything at all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, instead
Just-
of, like you
just
said,
be nice.
like,
Yeah.
I'm so sorry about
Be
what happened
honest.
to you, like, you know,
Yeah.
when your friend, like, spread rumors about you. To me, I feel like, okay, if you don't want to help, it's the same as, like, if you have nothing good to say, don't say anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, like, if you're not gonna help, if you don't want to help or get involved, then just don't do anything at
Or
all.
if
Don't make
you-
it worse.
yeah,
Because by
or-
making it worse, like, it's not gonna do any good to you.
Yeah, or if you really can't help, be honest with the person.
Yeah.
I can't
Exactly,
help
yeah.
you. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or just shut up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Just shut up.
that's a shut up.
If you got anything nice to say, just shut up.
Yeah, so like I was mentioning, right, the government can step in and help us as well, help people as well, and they can actually do a lot.
Yeah.
I think
Okay.
one of the most important things is improving the quality of life.
Mhm.
Yep.
Because like if people with
Definitely.
a high quality of life, it's less likely they'll fall into depression, right?
Yeah, I mean the prices of goods are getting
Maybe not that.
higher.
Maybe they can start from
Raise
early.
minimum
You know, they can
wage.
start
Yeah.
from earliest education.
Education.
People are
Education.
highly educated. They you know they can go further in life. That's the usual. Yeah,
That's true.
that's how we
Yeah, I mean
And
you have pendidikan moral and all that.
Yeah.
How about you put in a lesson that teaches about mental health?
That's
Yeah,
true.
exactly.
I
Yeah.
agree.
And mental health is one of the big issue in not just in Malaysia, in the world today.
Today's society.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean that lesson can include how to talk to a person, or the signs that you are depressed. You know, where to seek help,
Mhm.
how to seek help.
Yeah.
even
Alright.
funding for like universities.
Yeah.
So some
Yeah.
people
Yeah.
who you know they don't have the funds to further their studies. I mean, if you give them a chance at life, you know they can go further. They wouldn't be as depressed. You know?
Yeah,
Their
that's
potential is a
true.
lot higher as a
Yep.
person. What else? Maybe like even transportation. Like if the cities had like great access to everywhere else, you know, people wouldn't feel restricted to one place. I don't know, even like maybe green spaces to
I
spend
think-
time.
Yeah.
Even small little things, you know, just improve the
Yeah,
quality of life for
that's
your
true.
citizens.
I think government can help to improve the healthcare system.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
that's definitely the big ones. Yeah, I was
That's the
thinking
big
like more of the quality of life. Yeah,
I
but
see.
definitely for healthcare system. That,
Yeah.
Also, the fact that now that everyone's like, basically speaking out about this, we're basically like most people are aware about this mental health issues and suicide issues. Whichever government, I have faith that they will realize and start doing something about this, and not just by stating facts or saying saying it, but actually doing it.
Yes.
Yeah, but
Yes. And
yeah,
I hope that they will do something. something.
we also need to push
Yes.
them to do
Yes.
it. You know, yeah.
You know, because at the end of the day, we're all human, right? We
Yeah,
have
we're all
we have feelings, we have hearts.
I
Yeah.
So
I think I got suggestion on how to urge the government to focus on this. Either one, I don't know if the government of Malaysia recognize in the change.org the petition, sign the petition, and secondly, I think it's peaceful protests about this issue.
I mean,
Yeah.
even peaceful protest, the government sees it as
a protest is a
a
protest.
violence,
It's a
you know,
violence,
violent
yeah.
protest.
Yeah.
You know, even though we're just
Yeah.
standing there and lobbying for something, they will
Basically-
see us as a threat. They will send the police on us.
Basically, there's no freedom of speech lah.
Yeah,
No,
I
we
mean-
don't get that here.
I mean, the
actually.
freedom of speech is basically half baked in Malaysia.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like certain things you can't say, certain things you can't do,
Mhm.
even though we are doing it for the good of
Yeah.
us people, you know.
Yeah.
And yeah.
So to whoever, like to the viewers, to whoever the government is, you know, I have faith in you guys, and we gotta step our game up.
I just hope someone's listening. But yeah, I think we covered everything, right?
Yeah, we
Does
covered it.
anyone have personal stories regarding suicide here?
I got one personal
Ah,
story.
interesting.
He is a family member, and he's my own stepbrother.
Mhm.
He faced many problems in life, such as he got divorced and he got some drug problem. And what I know is, he did tell me that he want to end his life one time, but he did not do it yet. What I got try also to help him, but my work, my action to help him is to as a listener lah.
Mhm.
But I don't think that works, because the next step is to meet the psychiatrist.
Psychiatrist,
Yeah,
Psychiatrist.
but sadly that also did not work, and yeah, right now it's just a matter of time lah.
Oh, okay.
That's so heartbreaking to hear.
Yeah.
Yeah, he faced many problems, but it's serious thing lah.
Is he fine now? Is he still the same?
I can say he is not the person that was 5 or 10 years before.
He's
lah.
different.
Yeah, he's different already.
Anyone else?
I'm so sorry. I'm so
Yeah.
sorry.
Yeah,
It's
we
okay,
all
it's
are.
okay.
I actually have personal experience as well. Not me, but my late cousin. He didn't commit suicide. He died because of cancer.
Mhm.
But when we went to when he was in the hospital, there was this doctor, another doctor. The doctor was giving him medications, of course, but the sister would notice that the amount of medications was quite a lot. And when they actually talked to the doctor, and they found out that he's been depressed. He was diagnosed with depression a few years back, but he didn't tell anyone, because the thing is with him, he's like a brother to me too. Like, I grew up with him. He's a very nice guy. He takes care of his parents. He doesn't go out much. That's the only thing he does is basically like he spend time with his family. But the thing is, after that I realized, like I said, like we should be aware of the signs and all, because some people, they don't know how to share it, or they just don't wanna share because they feel like it's gonna be a burden.
Mhm.
But then to like our friends or our family, we should know, like, we gotta like be aware of these signs, and at least just try and do something about it. Because when we found out, it was very upsetting, because none of us know, even his close family, even his sister, his brother, they didn't know about it. So it was quite sad. But then when that happened, I realized that like we should keep everyone close, whoever's that's close to us, like our family, even if they're away, we should always check up on them, because we never know what they're going through.
Anyone else?
Yeah, I mean, okay, so my personal experience is basically myself. I honestly don't know when I started to feel like really down, but I felt that I was down for a very long time. And since 2017, every day I woke up, I feel like I don't deserve to live. Every day I wake up, I just keep thinking about what am I good at, why am I still here, and and the thing is, I can't cry. I can't let it out, you know, and I don't know why. And the last time I cried was at my father's funeral. That's the only time I actually cried. Then after that, I mean, I don't think the tears of when you're watching movies, it doesn't count, right? Because you're not actually letting it out. And I've tried to talk to a few people, and it's just that it doesn't work for me. So what I do, I began to smoke. I began only smoking, thankfully, because I don't touch alcohol. I mean, there's a few times where alcohol did help, but I mostly stick to smoking. And you know, I guess that's my way of slowly killing myself, you know, because I'm constantly smoking, putting, you know, smoke in my lungs and letting it out. And the thing is, right, just last night I wrote something down, like with each puff of smoke that I let out, a piece of my soul dances into the sky.
That's very beautiful and like sad.
That's
Yeah.
deep, bro. That's very deep.
That's me lah, and I still feel the same, but I'm trying to keep myself motivated, you know. And the few people that are going to watch this, especially to my great friend JJ and also Ian, if you guys are watching this, just know that you're the reason that I'm still here, because you guys keep me going. And I'm not gonna, like, you guys all being here as well is helpful, very helpful.
Bro, and I'm really sorry about your dad passing away, and also
You're
going
so
through
brave
this.
for sharing
Yeah.
this with everyone.
Yeah,
It's
you're
not easy
that's very
to
brave.
open
This is
up.
going on social media, you know, like,
This
Yeah,
is
I
like a
mean,
big
yeah.
thing.
And yeah, I'm pretty sure my mom is gonna watch this as well. So these are the things
Wow.
that I couldn't tell you, but now you're watching this, you will know. And my sister as well. She probably will be watching this as well. Also, there's another friend that I met literally like last week, Jeremiah. He understood me like to a T. Like every time I come college, I will always look for him because he understands me a lot. And yeah, so if you guys are watching this, I really appreciate you being in my life, and that's what's keeping me going. So yeah, that's it from me.
yes, that's it from us, right? Does
Yeah.
anyone? Yeah. So yeah, that's it from us. This is the criminalization of suicide in Malaysia. Hope you all enjoy.
Thank
Enjoy.
you so much.
Thank you for watching.
Thank you for watching.